What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got a brand new mechanical keyboard to take a look at. So let's get this thing unboxed, check out the specs and see what it's all about. Now first things first, let's go ahead and get rid of this protective film. So we'll just cut that open there. So as we can see from the box here, this is the KT68 Pro Smart Screen mechanical keyboard from Machenike. At least that's how I think you say their names. So you've got a couple of logos down here. Not much else is on the box. I'll turn it over for you quickly there. It's just got the model. It's a Pro White North Pole yellow switch. It's got the voltage, size, weight, and who it's made from. Some more logos and stuff up here. There is a QR code you can scan if you'd like. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and get it open. And there we go. Okay. Already I can see it, and I'm actually digging it quite a lot. So let's just go ahead and take this out. As you can see, it's got some decent protective packaging there. So we'll go ahead and just slot that off like so. And now I guess we can open this and actually take a look at the keyboard. Are you ready for the reveal? Okay. Now that is different. That's very different to a lot of the other keyboards that I currently have. Quick sound test. Okay, so we'll definitely go into more sound testing a little bit later. We'll just obviously take a quick look at this now. We've just got it out of the box. There's a little dial over here to the left. A toggle button. It does seem to move and click. So there is a button up here, it seems. Of course, you've got a couple of options for cable or wireless, which I love to see. Type-C connection up here. The keyboard itself, with of course all the keycaps, some branding. We can peel this protective film off and we will do that in a second. Turn it over here. It's got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. You do have a couple of kickstands, which is great, and different sizes too, depending on your preference, which is always nice. There are some rubber feet stoppers there to stop it sliding off your desk, again, which is very nice to see. Overall, it does look like a very good looking keyboard. It's got a decent weight to it. It feels relatively sturdy. Feels like decent materials and quality. So I think we'll go ahead and see what else we get inside the box just here. You get a quick start guide and some stickers. I know plenty of people are interested in stickers. They're not really for me, although they are pretty cool. And this is the quick start guide here. We'll just take a quick look at that. You can pause the screen if you want to read that, but we'll come back to that once we want to get it set up. We get a key picker, or whatever these things are actually called, which is nice. And in here, I'm guessing, are the cables. Yes, there we go. Okay, so what do we get in here? We get a USB-A to USB-C with the adapter in here, so you can plug that into your PC and, of course, get it connected that way as well. It's good to see. And, of course, you actually get a decent little braided cable here with the connector in here. I'll just unscrew that for you there. So it's that, what is that, a 5-pin connector. I've seen these before. I actually have it on one of my other keyboards. So nice to see. A decent quality braided cable as well, it feels like. Oh, and it's got a nice bit of sort of springiness to it. So it does stretch a little as well. That's good to see. Right, let's go ahead and get this connected to the PC and we'll test it out with some games. Right, so we're now at the desk ready to get started. Now, as I mentioned, there's 3 different ways that we connect, and you can see that in the instructions here. You've got cable, Bluetooth wireless, or 2.4G gigahertz connection, which of course, if you're going to be using the 2.4G, you're going to need to plug that into your PC. I think for ease of use, we're just going to go ahead and use Bluetooth. Hopefully there's some power in this thing because I haven't actually charged it yet. So let's go ahead and turn it on. We're going to flick the switch to wireless. Instantly we can see it come to life. Very cool. You've got all of the RGB here, so you RGB lovers are going to absolutely adore this keyboard. I hope that you can see it on camera. I'll double check the footage because it's quite bright and vibrant, but the light might drown out the colors a little bit. So I'll double check that. Now we get lots of options, as I can see in here, to do different things. So of course you've got your battery settings there. There's a factory reset. You've got lighting effects switching, so you can toggle the lighting, sorry. So if you hit function and delete, it's going to toggle the light mode. So yes, that's quite nice. That's more of a pastel-y color. So there are quite a few color options in here. Static colors that kind of glow. Okay, we'll just leave rainbow on for now. Oh, you can switch the light color by using function and page up. Oh, bright white is quite nice, and obviously you can toggle through all of your colors through there. You can adjust the light speed by function and arrows. And then you can adjust the brightness too. So I assume that will be max brightness at that point. We'll go through the colors again just to get some sort of RGB on. There we go. You've got a sleep state on the keyboard. All LED lights will turn off after 10 minutes. You've got an operating switch, so you can use Mac OS or Windows OS. So if you hit function and W, that'll be for Windows. And if you hit function and A, then that is going to be for Mac. You've got the toggle switch, which I think is this up here potentially. Not entirely sure of that just yet. You've got function buttons, so your functions, which I think we've just gone through some of those. Previous track, calculator. Okay, so kind of like macros. You can open up your mail, your player, your next track, volume up, volume down. There is a knob at the side here, which I did show before, which is volume up and volume down. The 12 keys from function all the way up to 0, is that? All the way up to plus, sorry, you can use to do different things by the looks of things here. And the smart LED screen use, there is a QR code which we'll go ahead and scan just to see what that's all about. And then there's just some cautions there if something's not working, but so far everything is working quite okay. So now let's go ahead and actually get it connected to Bluetooth. So for Bluetooth connection, you need to press function Z, X or C button together, wait for 3 seconds to enter the pairing mode. So that was function, Z, X and C. I guess we hold it down for 3 seconds. See the blue light, I assume that is pairing mode now on. Make sure you've got a mouse obviously, and I can now go ahead, go to my PC, open up the Bluetooth settings and connect to the keyboard. And I can see the keyboard here, KT68 RGB. I'm going to go ahead and connect to that. Connecting, connected. So the keyboard is now connected. Right guys, so I've gone ahead and connected it up to the cable now, so we can go ahead and check out the software. So I've gone ahead and downloaded the Control Center software, which you will find on their website just on here, the KT68 Pro. You've got Control Center, Pixel Screen Lighting Effect Library, and the user manual. So if you click here, I've had a quick look, there seems to be loads of pixel effects that we can potentially download and put onto this keyboard. So we're just going to go ahead and check that out now. So this is the Control Center software, and clicking that brings us up to the library of all of those LED animations that we was just looking at. But over on here, you can see you've got keys on here, so you can, I guess, set macros and change keys depending on what you want to do. Obviously, we don't want to change any of that. Here is your macros where you can set up some macros. Again, I'm not going to bother boring you setting up some macros here. You've got lighting effects on here, so you can actually adjust all of that in here. Yep, you can set it to white, set it to blue, you can set it to red. You can adjust the brightness, turn that up all the way. You've got the speed, so the pulsing effect. You've actually got direction, which is pretty cool. And then of course random color, because we love RGB. You've got different settings on here. You've got launch, ripples, flowing, pulsating, tilt, and many more. You've got user light, which looks to be where you can set up your own configurations. Custom light, again, some different ways of setting up the lights in here for the keyboard. Music, so I guess it will work with whatever music is playing in the background. We're not going to worry with that. And now we can get onto the LED part, where we can see that there are some animation effects in here. So like the data and time. So we just hit apply, and that is now applied to the keyboard. I hope that you can see that. We've now got 25th of June and 22 minutes past 1, which is correct. What else do we have in here? You've got musical, sound spectrum, Tetris, which is pretty cool. Okay, so those are the basic ones that you can get, and then you can add or edit these. And then, of course, you've got the animation library, which doesn't seem to be loading right now. But if we go ahead and refresh that, hopefully they will load. Here we go. So there looks to be many in here. There's 18 odd pages of animations that people have made that I guess you can go ahead and download. You can see how many downloads there are. I love you. Yeah, awesome. So if you was to want to adjust it, you can do this, or I guess maybe edit one of these yourself. If you hit edit, you can change the light and effect name, you can change the hex color. Okay, so this is the CPU usage, your foreground, background. Okay, so there is lots of customization on this keyboard, I must admit, from the RGB to obviously the LED screen up here. So now we've had a quick look at the software and the different customization options that we get with the LED screen and the LED lights on the keyboard or the backlit keyboard. I think we'll go ahead and actually play some games and see just how good this thing is for some gaming. Now for the best bit of testing, we've loaded up some Chivalry 2, and we're going to go ahead and see what we think of this keyboard whilst playing this game and see what the keys feel like, their sort of tactiles, the feedback and the response of the keys. Forgive me here, I've just got absolutely battered in game. Volume is quite loud. Being able to have the volume on the keyboard is a nice touch. I must admit, all of my keyboards seem to have this nowadays, and I don't think I'd want a keyboard that doesn't have it. So far I must say it's a way less clicky keyboard than the one that I originally had. But the keys, they feel really nice. They're quite quiet. There's like a soft touch to them almost. I don't quite know how to explain it, and it's quite difficult because things like this is very sort of individual based, and it's down to what you prefer, your own preferences. But the keys, they feel really good. They feel really, really good. I am actually quite impressed with the feel of the keys. There's a nice resistance to the keys. So when you're pressing the keys, you know, you have to put a bit of force in there to actually get the key pressed, but they're not that loud. They're not that clacky. There's a nice little bit of mechanical keyboard sound, but the keys are very soft. So that's probably down to the switches that are being used, which is nice. Playing Shiv isn't really the game that you want while you got to do some talking, because I just can't concentrate whilst I'm getting attacked by two people, but I've done one in there. Nice little parry. Feint, sorry, there we go. And we finally got defeated. But yeah, the keyboard feels nice. The keys are great. I must admit, the LED screen is a nice touch. It's probably not something I would use all that much. I'm probably not going to customize it and have anything too fancy on there. I will check out what you can have on there just to see if there's anything specific that I think, oh, actually, that's really nice. The date and time was nice. Maybe being able to use the CPU one where you can see the CPU usage would be would be a better choice for us gamers. But otherwise, it's just a nice keyboard. It's got nice RGB. The switches feel fantastic. And of course, you can take the keys off. So you can obviously apply your own keys if you want. There's tons of customization with the keys, the RGB, the LED touchscreen. Of course, you've even got the stands at the back, which we actually haven't used. I don't actually feel like you need them. I think the slant is already pretty good without the things at the back, but if you put the kickstands out, it's certainly not an aggressive slant, so I feel like you're going to be okay to use this without a wrist rest, which is obviously pretty important because obviously you want to keep your wrists safe and healthy. Feels like a really good keyboard. I think this might be my go-to gaming keyboard, if I'm honest. Depending on what the battery life is like, I haven't actually checked out what the battery life is. It's 4,000 milliamp hours. But obviously having the RGB and the LED screen is going to affect that somewhat. So in the real world, I don't know how much we're going to see out of it. I'll go ahead and use it for a little bit and sort of see. Obviously, it's not on full battery, so a fair test would be to charge it all the way up and then let it drain all the way with everything on and see how many hours you get. And then of course you can probably turn off the LED screen and of course reduce the RGB. But everybody likes a little bit of RGB. However, I must admit, it did look pretty funky without it. So if I just go ahead and turn that off there, I mean, it's a good looking keyboard, even without the RGB. So that's going to increase your playtime, and it's not really going to affect it all that much. I actually think that having your CPU and GPU usage or temp on there is actually the better option. I think it looks really clean like this, and of course, you've got the percentage and the temperature there. So I guess it's kind of handy as well. So I figured I'll just take a couple of keys off to allow you to see the underside of the keyboard here. So we'll just go ahead and remove 3 keys like so. And I'll bring you in for a little close up so you can see the switches inside there. So guys, I think that's going to do it. That was a quick look at the KT68 Pro Smart Screen mechanical keyboard from the guys over at Machenike, like so. I will go ahead and leave the link down below in the description so you can go ahead and check this keyboard or any of their other keyboard or products out for yourselves. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.